What's going on? It's Steve Larsen. I'm here to teach you how to ask for the sale without being pushy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's some really awkward ways to ask for people's money. Here's how to not do that and make it a very natural conversation. When I was in college, I decided that I would go learn sales in one of the toughest environments possible. I did this on purpose, and it's rough. I don't necessarily recommend this, but it was actually very advantageous for me. Now, a lot of you guys have heard the phrase, if you believe in it, you can sell it, right? How many of you guys have heard that? What I want to teach you in this video is so powerful that, well, I can sell things I don't believe in, right? And understand that there's a lot of room to be really unethical because of that, but it's because of the framework that I'm about to teach you. And because of this, honestly, you can become a very powerful salesperson. Now, before I even start, 3 ways for you to increase your sales and ask for the sale without being pushy. Understand that if you're an entrepreneur, you are in sales. I can't believe how many people I have to convince of that. Right? Just because you solved a valuable problem doesn't mean you're going to make any money. You have to sell it. You are still the best salesperson in your entire company, and that will never change. Okay, so with that, I want to dive into 3 things that you can do to make the sale and ask for the sale without being pushy. Now, to actually illustrate how this whole principle works, I'm actually going to draw right here what it's like for the customer when they're buying something. All right. Now I want you to imagine with me, you're about to buy something, you've done a little bit of research on it, maybe it's a larger purchase of yours, and what have you done, right? You have realized that you are right here, but where you really want to be is over here, and you may not know where that actually is, okay? They're about to make this really big jump, and they're about to travel, right, from where they are to some other place where they want to be. Right? A product is nothing more than a solution. It's nothing more than a dream and an outcome of where they want to be. Remember that that's really what people are buying. They're not really buying a product. They're buying an outcome. They're buying the hole, not the drill. Does that make sense? So this is very much like that. Oh my gosh, here is where I am. This is the result I actually want to be at and be in and be experiencing in my lifetime. How do I actually get from here to there? Now, one of the most powerful basic methods, if you have been in internet marketing at all, you have probably heard this term, and if you're not, welcome. Okay, it's totally fine to be brand new here as well. One of the easiest ways to help people cross that chasm, and one of the easiest ways to help people cross that gap, because it can be a little freaky. They've set up mental shop here. They know what the products are there. They know what it's like to exist there. To transition from these outcomes to these outcomes sometimes is kind of scary for a buyer. One of the easiest ways to help people get over that and not be pushy when you ask for the close is to tell the story of what it was like for you to cross that same chasm. We call this the origin story, or how you originally got from point A to point B. How you originally came from here to there. That's the origin story. Now, if you're like, Steve Larsen, I'm not a product of the thing that I'm selling, find somebody who is then. Find some kind of outcome that you can go talk about, because this will help people realize, oh my gosh, I'm not alone on this journey. What you're trying to do here, this comes from a book, Story Brand. You want them to be the hero in their journey, and we need you to be the guide. Don't be Frodo, be Gandalf. You need them to be Frodo. And they're going to be experiencing this as they go and progress in the sale. Steve, this sounds fishy and crazy. What does that have to do with asking for money without being pushy? Okay, if you do what I'm telling you right here and you follow the framework I'm talking about, when you ask for the sale, it'll be very natural. In fact, because I do this, people ask where they can give me money before I've even told them they can buy something. It's a very natural thing that happens in the head as you start to help people. Like, hey, you're here and you want to be here. I'm going to help you get there. And I'm going to help you get there through my product. And I'm just going to guide you. You're still the hero though. And you let them be the hero of their own story. This is the first step. Steve, what do I do here? I have to go in and I need to figure out what my origin story is. So I would really recommend that you write down what your origin story is. Your product or service or whatever you sell right now, however you transact to make money. How did you originally, the origin story, how did you originally find this thing? What happened to you? Something gave you the epiphany. Oh my gosh, I want to sell that because this stinks. I want to sell that because this sucks. I want to sell this. I want this outcome in my life. You went through the same thing that you want your people to go through as well. This is all a sales message is. It's not pushy. It's not overbearing. And if they are, frankly, that's old school tactics, right? And it's because they're missing this that it felt pushy. So I want you to go in, I want you to write down what your origin story is. Once you figured out what your origin story is, let's talk about, in this very next step here, what happens in the brain next, because they do not just throw their wallet at you, unfortunately. Let's go into the second point of this. One of my favorite movies to watch with my little girls is actually the movie The Croods. I love the movie The Croods. This classic scene in that movie where the dad is trying to tell his younger kids, right, like, what it's like to experience things that are new. I don't know if you remember this, but he's like, yeah, one day they saw something new and died. You remember that? That's actually, and he's trying to dissuade them from doing things that are new. That's not far from the psychology of what is going on inside the buyer's head though. And there are 3 major hangups and stopping places that will literally halt the sale. If you can address these, it's the easiest way to open a gap in the head and slide there without actually being pushy and get the sale. Make sense? So here's what they are. Here's the 3 natural places where there are stops and breaks. And the reason that these are the 3 is because this is the most natural 3 steps, and in this order that the brain makes all decisions. Okay? You're just helping them make a new decision. And so this is why this matters, and this is the formula that we've used for quite a long time. The first major hangup is actually pretty quickly out of the gate on their journey, and we call it the vehicle-based objection. Now, an objection is different than a complaint. A complaint is they're like, let me give you an example. When I was doing door-to-door sales, I'd knock on the door and I'd be like, hey, what's going on? We're selling pest control here. It's 50% off while we're here. It's 4 or 5 o'clock a day, okay for you? I'd be like, oh, I gotta talk to my spouse. I gotta talk to my wife. Totally get it, man. I would have to talk to mine as well, but come on, she doesn't like the bugs either. Let's make you the hero today. Let's get you some brownie points. Let's go. All right? And if they say, okay, you're right. Okay, 5 o'clock's good. It was a complaint. If they say, no, man, I need to talk to my spouse. I'd be like, no, I'm just totally messing. Right? I'm totally messing. It's all good. That is an objection. Objections are things that completely halt the sale from progressing. Okay? And the first one that the brain typically goes through is a vehicle-based objection. Right? So back to, I'm trying to use offline examples so you can see this works offline and online. Just going back to the pest control example though. Knocking on the door. What's up? Hey, I'm here selling pest control, blah, blah, blah. I go through my spiel, ask for the sale. No, you know what? Does this pest control even kill ants? Ooh, this is a vehicle or product ability based objection. Do I even believe that pest control that you're selling me has the ability to do what you say it does? Right? Does that new car actually have the ability to drive? If I have any inclination or hankering at all that it doesn't, I will stop there and not progress any further. If I feel that I do, and then oh my gosh, this has the possibility of doing what this guy says it does, I graduate to the second type of objection, which is this. The second type of objection is an internal-based objection, meaning I'm going to start citing internal reasons on why I can't get the same result that you did. Oh, you know what? I see that car can drive. That's even possible. But I don't know that I'm a good driver. I don't have a driver's license. I'm not going to get the skills I need to drive well. You see what I'm saying? It's an internal base. That pest control, you know what? I see that pest control could do what you say it's going to go do. But you know what? I think I could just go spray it myself. I'm just going to get it from Home Depot down the street, get it over at Lowe's or whatever, and just apply it myself. They're stopping on the internal or abilities based objection. If there is a possibility though that what you're saying is real, I graduate to the third. Here it is. I do a whole massive training on this, guys, so I'm going as fast as I can with this. But the next one is external. Now, I got to help draft some of the original copies of Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets book. If you've not read that book, it's a great book, but some of this comes from that, okay? Vehicle, internal, external. This third kind of objection is external based. You know what? I believe you, man. That pest control says what you say. I believe it can do what you say it says. You know what? I don't really want to go to, I just won't be here when you spray it, right? Number 3, external is resource-based objections. They're things outside of ourselves that we point at as reasons to not buy. You know what? Money's a little tight right now. You know what? I don't have time Saturday. You know what? I really don't know that I'm going to have the support that I need from your guys' team when you do this. There are things outside of us and outside of the vehicle that halt the sale. And so what I do as a marketer and when I'm asking for the sale is very simple. I try to guess what their vehicle, internal, and external objections are, and I add that to my story. So we add, after I've told my origin story, I tell 3 very brief stories that is a vehicle, internal, and external based story that will help them overcome any kind of false belief they might have, any kind of objection that would otherwise halt the sale. Hey guys, before I make my last little point here and little training, I do want to say, if you're liking this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Hit that little bell notification so you can get notified on new videos. But honestly though, if you could, leave a comment down below on what it is that you feel most hung up on when you're buying. Even for me. Oh, his eyes are too gigantic, or I don't know, I don't understand any of the strategy. It would help my market research a lot. All right guys, and finally, you're here to figure out how to ask for the sale without being pushy. Very simple answer. I was at an event once and I was teaching, I was on stage, there's 1,000 people, and I was showing people some of these strategies and I was teaching them. And it was a great event. I remember I got off stage, people were like, oh, it was cool. And then I sat down and started watching the next guy get up. And it became really apparent. I don't know why, but it felt weird. We're like, what is this guy doing? Really awkward, really weird. I don't understand why he's even speaking. Oh my gosh, why is he? Oh, he's pitching. He did not ask for our permission to pitch. And I'm sitting there in the audience and I started texting all the people on my team in the audience and I was like, why does this feel awkward to you? And they were all like, because he didn't ask for the sale. He didn't ask us for permission to pitch. And because of that, the audience, it was so awkward, so awkward. I think they sold maybe 5 people, I don't know, hardly any people at all out of 1,000. That size room, they should have closed, 10, 20, 30, 40%. A lot of people, it was not a high price point. But because he didn't ask for the sale, it's offensive and awkward to the listener. So how do you ask for the sale without being pushy? Pretty simple. Ask for permission to pitch him. Now, if that sounds awkward and you're like, oh, but Steve, I don't know that I can pull that off. I totally get that. Here's a very simple way to do it. Let's say that we are progressing nicely. We've progressed. They're like, oh my gosh, this is where I want to be. You're like, hey, I've been there. And they're like, sweet, I'm making the journey. They've gone through the vehicle, internal, external. We're getting right here. We're right before the money right there, right? What do we do there to make it so it's not awkward and feel like you're being pushy? The benefit of what I'm talking about here is that if you have done this, they've sold themselves on the fact that they want your thing. They have started asking questions. You know what? I kind of really want this outcome now. If he's got something, I'm kind of open to listening to it. The most classic pushy car salesman that's quintessentially out there doesn't do any of this, and they start the conversation here. You started it back here. You're guiding him along the journey. You're helping him overcome obstacles. And because of that, when you get to the close, not nearly as awkward. So the first part of this is that if you just pitch correctly, it makes it not awkward. The second, you got to ask for the sale. So what I like to do right here, when I start doing closes, real fast, what are closes? Closes are logical reasons to act now. Buy one, get one free. Better do it because it's today, right? Act now before midnight, it's half off. Those are closes, logical reasons to act now. And so we'll toss in a whole bunch of closes that makes it very non-pushy. How do we even transition though from this to actually pitching, to actually asking for their money? It's quite simple. Okay, I had to say, hey, I've been telling you about some of this stuff. Is this something that you feel like you want still? Like, yeah. Would you love to have that? Yeah. We spent a little bit of time putting together a little offer for you. Are you okay if I just spend a few minutes going over what that is? Yeah. I have never had an audience tell me no. And because of that, it changes the entire feel of the room. It changes the entire atmosphere of everything. And now they're like, I love this. Thank you for providing your offer for me. Thank you for providing this. And so when I get to the closes and I actually ask for the money, they're like, yeah, way easier. Changes the entire thing. You're respecting the mentality of the person that you're speaking to. Hey, hope you enjoyed that video. If you like this stuff and you're like, man, this is what I need and why my sales feel awkward and stuck and weird. The reality is that what you're selling is probably really good. It's probably how you're selling it that feels awkward. So I run an event every single year called Offermind. Offermind helps you design a lucrative offer and sales message. And so it helps your thing become an offer that is sellable online, and then helps you design and develop an actual sales message that makes it very natural to buy from you. If you're interested in that and want more information and want to reserve your seat, go to offermind.com. The link is in the comments and I'll see you there.